Okay. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Yes. Okay. So in the last class, I said about how to create NumPy array. So we are talking about attributes of array object. In attributes of array object, I said some of the attributes like item size. Okay, and I said about how to work with. So this is the overflow error. And I said n bytes because NumPy array provide a data type. And because an array hold a similar type of values, but when it comes to the list can hold different types of values. But our array can hold a similar type of values because the array is having a data type and data type along with the size. It is having a data type along with the size. I said there are different types of data types provided by NumPy array, right? So you have a various data types in NumPy array. So I said integer 16, that is nothing but how many bytes? 2 bytes. And if I'm writing integer 32 is how many bytes? Integer 32 means how many bytes? 4 bytes, right? But I said no, every data type is having size. Okay, it is having a size and it is also having a space. I mean range, size and what is that range? For example, if it is integer 8, integer 8 means how many bytes here? 1 byte. And in 1 byte of space, you can store the values. How many values you can store? Minus 128 to plus 127. You can store how many values? Minus 128 to plus 127. And I said how to calculate this range. I said 2 to the power of 8 because 1 byte is equivalent to 8 bits. And that is nothing but total how many values? 256 values. Total number of values are 256 and that range minus 128 to minus 128 to plus 127. That range from minus 128 to plus 127, right? And if you want to know total number of bytes, the total number of bytes occupied by the array, so that you can find out by using n bytes. So here item size return the size of each element. Size of each element or size of each item exists in the array. And n bytes return the total number of bytes occupied by the array. For example, if you create an array, there is an array with some 4 values 10, 20, 30, 40. So how many values are there in the array? 4 values. And the size of each item is 2 bytes. What is the size of each item here? 2 bytes. Now n bytes what it returns? The total number of bytes occupied by this array. It's nothing but now total how many elements are there? 4 elements. And each element size is how many bytes? 2 bytes. So total how many bytes occupied by this array? 8 bytes. Total number of bytes occupied by this array That you can find out by using a attribute called which one? N bytes. The name of the attribute is n bytes. So what is the difference between item size and n bytes? Tell me here, what is the difference between item size and n bytes? Means both are same or different? Different. So item size return the size of each item. Means each location occupy how many bytes? Or each value occupies how many bytes? That is written by which one? Item size. The total number of bytes occupied by all the items is written by which one? N bytes. So that is the difference between item size and one more is what? N bytes. Okay. So after that I said the size attribute. The size attribute returns the total number of values. That is nothing but how many values exist in the array. Count of values. Count of values are count of items exist in the array. So these are attributes where you have to find the difference. There is a item size and there is a size and there is a n bytes. Okay, there is a item size and there is a size and there is what? N bytes. So item size written in bytes, the size of each item. Okay, then size is nothing but total number of elements. How many values are there in the array? How many number of values are there in the array that is written by how many values are there inside the array that is written by which attribute? Size attribute. Size attribute written how many values are there in the array. Okay, right? So that is the difference between item size and one more is what? N bytes. Then after that, I said about shape. So shape attribute returns what? Tuple. What tuple contain? Shape returns what? It returns a tuple. What tuple contain? How many elements are there in each? How many elements are there in each dimension? For example, there is a two-dimensional array. If it is two-dimensional array, if I am writing 3 by 4, then now each dimension is having how many values? 4 values. Each dimension is having how many values? 4 values. See here. So this attribute returns a tuple 3 comma 4 means 3 comma 4 means this is the shape. This is called as which one? Shape. See what is the difference between n dimension and one more is what? Shape. So n dimension returns dimension. Means it is 1D array or 2D array or 3D array that is written by which attribute? N dimension. But each dimension is having how many values that is written by what? Shape. Okay, na? So if it is one dimensional array, it returns 1D. If it is two dimensional array, it will return what? 2D. If it is a three dimensional array, it returns what? 3D. But each dimension is having how many values? How can you find out that? By using an attribute called which one? Shape. So shape attributes define the structure of the array and return the number of rows and columns or how many values exist in each axis. Even that is also written by which attribute? Shape attribute. Okay. Yes. This is what we have seen in the last class. One dimension, two dimension, three dimension. And one dimension. How many values are there? 5 values. Two dimension. Each dimension is having how many values? 3 values. Now three dimension. This is each axis is having how many values? 2 values. This is a matrix and this matrix contain how many rows? 2 rows and each row contain how many values? 2 values. Now shape is a writable attribute and this attribute can be used to change the shape of the array, right? So you can change the shape of the array means you can convert one dimensional array to what? Two dimension and two dimension also you can change the shape. For example, this is flattening the array. Yeah, let me tell you some examples on this shape here, but we'll see more on that. Yes. Now this is we have to, we are doing a Jupyter notebook, right? So open the Jupyter notebook. Okay, I think you remember all the things, right? Kuch gap again, huh? Remembered or forgot? Forgot, right? Okay. So what is NumPy? Numerical, what it is? As a library provide how many data structures? One data structure. NumPy library provide how many data structures? One. What is that? ND array. ND array, right? Okay. Very good. What is the current version of NumPy? Who developed NumPy? Travis Oliphant. Who developed? क्या हो गया? हो गया. NumPy is over, huh? Huh? Not over, yeah. Just started, huh? Yes. Okay. So already I said about this is a one-dimensional array. You are converting into what? Two-dimensional array. Okay. In the same way, you can change the shape of the array. Okay. You can define the number of rows and columns. Suppose I'm writing import numpy as a NP. Import numpy as NP, A equal to NP dot array. I am creating a two-dimensional array with two rows. Okay, or any. Now suppose I'm writing 4 comma 5 comma 6. Okay, 7 comma 8 comma 9. Okay, right? Now this is which array? Two-dimensional array. This is a two-dimensional array. I run this code. Okay, now this is a two-dimensional array contain 3 rows and 3 columns. So what will happen if I write print a dot n dimension? Tell me 2D, right? If I say a dot n dimension, how many dimensions? 2 dimensions. Okay. If I'm writing a print a dot shape, what it returns? 2 comma 2 comma 3. How many rows? 2 comma 3 or 3 comma 3? 3 comma 3. 3 rows and 3 columns. 3 rows and 3 columns, right? 3 rows are there and 3 columns are there, right? So this is a dimension and this is what here? Shape. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to change this shape. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm adding some more elements here. 0. Added 0 here and here also added 0. And here also added what? 0. Now tell me how many rows and columns are there? 3 rows and 4 columns. But dimensions are only 2. 2 dimensions. Okay, how many dimensions? 2 dimensions with how many rows? 3 rows, and each row contain how many columns? 4 columns. So each dimension contain number of values. That is shape, right? Each dimension is having how many values? 4 values. Now I want to change the shape. Okay, now I want to change it to 2 rows and 6 columns. Because total how many number of elements are there? How many elements are there? Array. How can you find how many elements are there? A dot what? Size. A dot size. Total how many elements are there? 12 elements. Can I change the shape to, can I change the shape or not? Yes. I want to change the shape to 2 rows and how many columns? 6 columns. Can I change A dot, what do you write? Shape equal to 2 comma 6. 2 comma 6 and I'm saying A dot shape. A dot shape. Okay, now 2 rows and 6 columns. Can I print this array, right? If I print this array, now see here, how many rows are there? Two rows with how many columns? Six columns. Can I change the shape to four rows and three columns? Tell me, can I change the shape to four rows and three columns? Yes. A dot shape 4 comma 3. 4 comma 3. But previously it is 3 comma 2 comma 6. Initially it is what? 3 comma 4. Then I change to 2 comma 6. I'm changing to 4 comma 3. A dot shape. A dot shape and A. Print A. And if you print A, you can see how many rows are there? 4 rows with how many columns? 3 columns. But whenever you are changing the shape, the total number of elements, you have to count the total number of elements, size. Based on the size only, you divide into a number of rows and columns. For example, I'm creating an array. I'm creating an array by saying B equal to, I'm saying here B equal to NP dot, I'm saying NP dot array 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. So this is which array now? 1D array. If I'm saying B dot end dimension, it is a 2D array or 1D? 1D. It is 1D array, not 2D array, right? Then print, I'm saying B dot shape. Tell me how many values are there? 5 values. Now tell me, can I change the shape to 2 rows and 2 columns? Can I write here A equal to shape? Can I change it to 2 rows and 2 columns? So if I print to print, sorry, B, I'm saying B equal to, I change the shape from 2 rows to 2 columns. 2 rows and 2 columns. I'm changing to 2 rows and 2 columns, right? If you run this, now immediately it is given which error? Value error. Cannot reshape array of size 5 into what? Shape 2 comma 2. Always you try to define the shape based on the total number of elements. The total number of elements are how many? 5. So can you divide into 2 rows and 2 columns? No. Can I say 2 comma 3? I said here 2 comma 3. Sorry. Here I'm saying 2 comma 3. 2 comma 3 means how many here? 6. Now cannot reshape array of size 5 into shape 2 comma 3. So always you try to define the shape based on the total number of values or total number of elements exist within the array. Total number of values, total number of elements exist within the array. So if you are trying to give a wrong shape, then it leads to which error? Value error. It leads to which error? Value error, right? Yes. So this is an attribute called shape. The last one gets an error. A last one leads to an error, right? Value error. Yeah. So this last two statements, the statement generates what here? Error. Okay, try to remember this. Okay. Then next we'll see. I think you understood how to create an array. Bolo here. You understood how to create an array and what are the attributes of an array? You understood or not? Okay, then next we'll see how to read content of the array. We'll see how to read content of the array. See, you can create an array by using various functions. and we'll discuss all those functions. Don't worry. We'll see all the functions how to create the array. But first we'll learn first how to create an array and how to read the content of the array. How many ways can you read the content of the array? So reading content of array, reading content of array. Next I'm telling you, reading content of the array. You understood what is the use of an array is? The user applications of array already I discussed. By organizing data in rows and columns, you can solve the complex mathematical operations. By organizing the data in the form of rows and columns, you can solve some statistical operations. And by organizing the rows and columns, I said, no, you can work with Fourier transformation, linear algebra, like image processing, audio video processing. All these things can be done by organizing the data in the form of rows and columns. And most of other libraries depends on which one? Numpy. Like Pandas uses internally Numpy. Matplotlib uses internally Numpy. Scikit-learn internally uses what? Numpy. So Numpy is base. Even if you are working with deep learning, you work with audio and video and images that uses which library? Numpy library. So every data scientist or AI person must have a knowledge of which one? Array. Understood? So don't think that array means just rows and columns. We'll see the applications. Okay, right? So now tell me, the question is, how can you read, how many ways can you read the content of list? 5 ways. What is the first one? Index. Second one is slicing. Third one is for loop. Fourth one is iterator. Iterator, and fifth one is enumerate. How many ways can you read the content of the list? 5 ways. Any sequence data type, you can read the content how many ways? 5 ways. That is what you learn in Python classes, right? In Python classes, you learn how to read the content of a sequence. Now, how many ways? Now, not only list, any sequence you take, you read the content of a sequence using index, using slicing, using for loop, using iterator, using what? Enumerate. Tell me how many ways can you read the content of sets? How many ways can you read the content of sets? Sets, how many ways? 3 ways. For loop, iterator, enumerate. For loop, iterator, and enumerate. How many ways can you read the content of dictionary? Dictionary content, how many ways you can read? By using what? Key. Using key. Next, using what is this? For loop. For loop read what from dictionary? Key na values keys. Array. Using dictionary methods. Using dictionary methods. What are those methods? Keys. What are those methods? Values. What is that methods? Items. All these are what? Methods. You can also use a method called which one? Get. You can also use a method called what? Set a default. All these you learn in Python classes, right? Huh? So from sequences you can read in how many ways? 5 ways. From sets you can read how many ways? 3 ways. From dictionary you can read 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 approaches are there to read the content of what? Dictionary. 7 approaches are there. Okay. And you must know how to read the content of all the collections. Okay. Yes. But when it comes to this array, it also provides some advanced features by using which you can read the content of what array. So by reading the content of array, you can perform certain operations on what? Data. By reading what you can do, you can perform certain operations on data, right? So the content of array, so the content of array can be read in different ways, can be read in different ways. Okay. The first one is, using what? Index. Using index, you can read how many values? Tell me, using index, you can read how many values? One value. Using index, you can read only one value. If you want to read multiple values, you can use what? Slicing. You can using slicing. Okay, slicing. Using slicing is it. Now third one is using which one? For loop. And fourth one is using iterator. So array provide an iterator. By using that iterator, you can read content of which one? Array. But when it comes to the indexing and slicing, here you find advanced things, advanced features related to what? Indexing and what? Slicing. First we'll see using index. Using index. Using index. Now here index is used to read, okay, read one item, one item from which one? Array. Using index, you can able to read how many items? One item only. One item only. Let me tell you this. Now there are two syntaxes are there here. Syntax one is you just give the array name and it followed by index. It followed by index. Now index, this can be either one index or it can be multiple indexes. It can be one index or it can be what? Multiple indexes. Even I'm writing a syntax 2 is an array name and it followed by, you can give the list of indexes. Index 1, index 2, index 3, so on. You can put all those indexes as one collection. You can put all those indexes as one collection so that you can read the values randomly. Okay, you can read all these values randomly. Just to try to see it. To read, okay, to read one element, to read element, one element, to read one element, use one index. Use one index. To read one element, just use what? One index. And if you want to read multiple elements, then define multiple indexes. Let me tell you practically this. I am using a single dimensional array. See here, np dot array. See the board here. Okay. So I'm creating an array with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So I created array with how many values? 5 values are there. 5 values, and is it this is one dimensional array or two dimensional array? One dimensional array. This is not two dimensional array. It is one dimensional array, right? Then I'm saying print, you know it. A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3, A of 4. So I can use how many indexes here? How many indexes? 5 indexes. Because how many values are there? 5 values. You can see 20, 20, 30, 40, 50. If I'm writing a print A of minus 1, I write here A of minus 1. This is from left to right and right to left. So negative index starts at what? Minus 1. A of minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, and one more is a of minus 5. Now this is reading elements from right to left. Using positive index, you can read the elements from left to right. And using negative index, you can read the elements from right to left. Okay, right? But using index, you can able to read how many values? Only one value. But using index, I want to read multiple values. I want to read the value at 0. I want to read the value at 0. I want to read the value at 3. So I want to read like this. Okay. I want to read the value at 0 and 3. You can see how many values are written here? 2 values. But it is written 2 values as one array. See here, if the array is very big and you want to read only selected values, then define the index of those selected values as one list. You define that as one list. A of, now which element you want to read? I want to read the element at 0. I want to read the element at 2. I want to read the element at what? 4. How many values it will read? 4 values. Now what you write in this list? Dekho here, what you are writing in this list? What is written in this list? Indexes. I want to read the value at 0. I want to read the value at 0. I want to read the value at 2. I want to read the value at 4. This index is 0. This index is 1. This is 2. This is 3. And this is 4. But if you are writing only one index, you can able to read only one value. If you want to read multiple values randomly, if you want to read multiple values randomly, then define multiple indexes. Define multiple indexes as one list. Define multiple indexes as one list. One list, and that will return one more array. So B comma type of B. B comma type of B. Now B is which type here? ND array. Because are you reading one value or multiple values? Multiple values. And where it will store this multiple values into another array. Now this is when you are working with one dimensional array. Are you getting or not what I'm telling you? Okay. So what is index? What is index? Index is a position of a element. Every element in array is having one position. Yes or no? And that position is what here? Index. Okay, it is an identity given to each element within the array. So it is an integer value which identify the value within the array. Within the array. Yes. That is called as an index. Position of an element. Yes. But using index, you can read the elements how? Sequentially as well as what? Randomly. Using index, you can read the values sequentially and randomly. Suppose, assume that I'm creating another array by saying np dot array. Now, I'm creating an array with 1, 2, 3. So 4, 5, 6 and 7, 8, 9. Okay, see here. I created array with how many rows and how many columns? 3 rows and 3 columns. Now this is which array? 2D array. Very good. 2D array it is. So I said here print B and then print B dot n dimension comma B dot what I'm writing? Shape. Because I want to know number of values in each row. So that represent number of indexes here. How many indexes I should use? Two indexes. One is row index and one more is column index. If you don't know the shape, you cannot read it. If you don't know the shape, you cannot read it. Now this represent what? Rows, and this represent what? Columns. Means I need to use how many indexes? Two indexes. One is row index and one more is column index. I have to use row index and column index. I'm writing B of 0. If I'm using only B of 0 and B of 1, comma B of 2, now what will it return? Tell me, it will return what? Rows. What it returns here? Rows, because I use only one subscript. Now this is a first row and this is a second row and this is what? Third row. Because total how many rows are there? Three rows. Total how many rows are there? Three rows here. This is the first row and this is the second row. And each row having how many values? Three values. This index is 0. This index is 1. This index is 2. And this index is 0. This index is 1 and this index is 2. Now you are using row index. You are using which index? A row index to read a row. You are reading how many values are there in each row by using which index? Row index. And this is which index? Column index. Okay. Now if I want to read the elements in each row, I have to use how many indexes? Two indexes. B of 0, 0 and B of 0, 1 and B of 0, 2. B of 0, 2. In the same way, B of 1, 0, 1, 0, B of 1, 1 and B of 1, 2. Now this is reading elements of second row and B of 2, 0, comma B of 2, 1, comma B of 2 and 2. We are trying to read elements from the arrays here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 because it is which array? It is which array? Two-dimensional array with how many? There is a row. How many shapes are there? Two. That is rows and columns. Okay. Then next is if I'm writing a C equal to NP dot. Just listen here. C equal to NP dot array. Now this is a matrix and this matrix contain number of rows and columns 1 comma 2 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 3 comma 4 1 comma 2 and 3 comma 4 1 comma 2 3 comma 4 comma there is one more matrix. There is one more matrix with 5 comma 6 5 comma 6 comma 7 comma 8. Now this is another matrix. Now this is which array? Three-dimensional array. This is 3D array. This is 3D array. See here. If I'm printing C dot n dimension, now you can see which array? 3 dimension. If you want to read, what do you need to know? Alright, if you want to read, what do you need to know? Shape. You should know shape. Then only you can read it. C dot. What is this? Shape. Shape. Tell me what is the shape of this array? 2 comma 2 comma 2. 2 comma 2 comma 2. Correct? Yes. Two matrices, two rows and two columns. Two matrices and two rows and two columns. Okay. Two matrices, two rows and two columns. Then I need to use how many indexes? How many indexes I should use? Three indexes. C of, what is this? 0. First matrix, first row. See here, first matrix, or if you want, write like this. C of 0 and C of 1. Means it returns the first matrix and second matrix. This is we'll try to put a new line. Separator equal to backslash n. If you run this, now this is a first matrix contain 2 rows and 2 columns. This is a second matrix contain again 2 rows and 2 columns. If you want to read elements from each matrix, you have to use again index or not? Yes. C of 0, 0. Tell me what I'll get. First matrix, first row. First matrix, first row. C of 0, 1. First matrix, second row. Second row. Okay, each matrix contain rows and columns. So first matrix, first row, first matrix, second row. Second matrix, first row, and second matrix, second row. Comma, I'm writing a separator. Separator is backslash. Sorry. So separator. I'm saying separator is backslash n. Okay, now you can see this is a first matrix, first row, first matrix, second row, second matrix, first row, and second matrix, second row. Then if I want to read element, tell me. C of first matrix, first row, first column. So first matrix, first row, what is this? Second column. First matrix, first row, first matrix, what is this? Second row, first column. First matrix, second row, second column. Don't be confused. Okay, now you should know the shape. If you know the shape, you can able to read the data. If you know the shape, then you can able to read the data. But if you don't know the shape, you cannot read the data from the array. Are you getting or not what I'm telling you? Right? So you can use multiple indexes even for reading multiple. You can use a multiple indexes to read multiple elements. Now just to see here. Okay, just to see here. I'm writing a D equal to C of. I'm writing here C of what is that? 0. Anyway, it is having only C of 0. I written like this. D equal to C of 0. I can write only one index is there, no? C of 0 means what will happen? It will return which matrix? First matrix. Now D comma D dot n dimension comma D dot shape. Tell me. Tell me here this one. D. What is D now? Array. What is D now? Array. Which array? D is which array? 2D array. D is which array? 2D array. Because from matrix, you are reading a matrix. You are reading a matrix. You are reading a matrix. First matrix, right? That matrix contain how many rows and how many columns? 2 rows and 2 columns. Then what is the shape of that array? What is the shape of that array? 2 rows and 2 columns, right? If you run this code, you can see 2 and 2 comma 2, because each row contain how many rows are there? 2 rows, and each row contain how many values? 2 values. 2 rows are there, and each row contain how many values? 2 values. Are you getting what I'm telling you? Bolo here, yes or no? Okay, now print, just as here, print D. So I'm writing here E equal to C of 0, 0. Now tell me print E and E comma n dimension comma E comma shape. Separator is backslash n. Now tell me what is the output of this? Okay, you are reading matrix. First you are reading what? Matrix. From matrix you are reading which row? First row. Row means 1 dimension or 2 dimension? 1 dimension. 1 dimension with how many values? 2 values. Now if you run this, what is the output is? One dimension with how many values? Two values. Dekho here, very easy. Okay, now this is, what is this is? What is this is? Matrix. This is a matrix. Contain how many rows? This matrix contain how many rows? Two rows and two columns. How many matrices are there? Two matrices are there. This is first matrix and this is first matrix and this is second matrix. How many matrices are there? Two matrices. Okay, na? This is matrix 0. This is matrix 1. What is the matrix of 0 is first matrix. What is the matrix of 1 is second matrix. Matrix of 0 is what again? 0, 0 is what? First matrix, first row. 0, 1 is first matrix, second row. 1, 0 is first matrix, first row. 1, 1 is first matrix, second row. Dekho yaar. Understood? Now this is a matrix. Three dimension. A matrix contain how many matrices? Two matrices. And each matrix contain number of rows and columns. You should know only the index. You should know only the index. Right? Just to see here. This example, you should understand. For example, here I'm writing some F. So F equal to NP dot array. NP dot array, I'm creating an array with total number of rows and number of columns. 3, 4, 5, 6. Comma some 7, 8 and 9, 10. Now tell me this is which array? It is which array? 2D array. If I'm writing n dot n dimension, what is the output I'll get? 2D array with the shape of print f dot. What is this shape? Tell me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 2. 5, 2. Right? 5, 2. G equal to f of. Okay, here I'm writing 0, 0, 2, 4. 0, 2, 4 and print G dot n dimension. Print G dot, what is this? Shape. Tell me, what is the dimension of G? What is the dimension of G is? 2 dimension. What is the dimension of G is? 2 dimension. What is the shape of that? How many rows you read? 3 rows. With each row contain how many values? 2 values. Means 3 by? Okay, 3, 2. Array, देखो here. 3, 2. देखो. This is how many rows? How many rows are there here? 3 rows. Breakfast हो गया? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And each row contain how many values? 2 values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1. Okay. What you are doing? G. Now this is one more array. G equal to 0. 0 means which row it will read? First row. So one row is created. One row is created with how many values? 2 values. Then 2. 2 means it will read third row with what? 5, 6. Then again you are reading which one? 4. It will read the fourth row. What is this? 9 and 10. It is written one matrix or not? Yes. With how many rows? 3 rows. And how many columns? 2 columns. With the 3 rows and 2 columns. Understood? Bolo here. Understood or not? So you are using index. And here you can write multiple indexes. You can write multiple indexes. Multiple indexes you can write. F of, you are writing multiple indexes as one list. You are writing multiple indexes as one list. You are using one list for multiple indexes. Minus 1 comma minus 5. Bolo here. Print I. Tell me, print I dot n dimension. Which dimension it returns? 2 dimension. It returns 2 dimension. I dot shape. Bolo here. 2 rows and 2 columns. Very good. 2 rows and 2 columns. That's it. Two rows and 2 columns. And print. What do you print here? I. How many elements are there? 2 rows, and each row contain 2. So this index can be either positive. This index can be either positive. This index can be either what? Negative. This index can be either positive or negative. Understood? So you can write one index, you can write multiple indexes. How you write multiple indexes? As one collection, as one collection, as one collection. Multiple indexes you can write as one collection. np dot array. Okay, 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40 comma 90 comma 100. Okay, so b equal to np a of, if I write only 0, how many values I'll get? One value. If I'm writing a of 0 comma minus 1 comma minus 4 comma 6 comma, okay, 6 comma, what is that? 8. Will it this read one element or multiple elements? Multiple. But can you write directly like this? No. Multiple means it should be always put inside one collection. Can I put a collection of type tuple or not? Can I write here tuple? Tuple contain multiple. Tuple contain multiple indexes. Tuple contain multiple indexes. What happened? 5. Too many indexes for array. Array is one dimension, but 5 indexes are there. Now, can you write like this? I'm writing it as a tuple, but I'm writing it as a list here. So here I'm writing it as a list. The list represent multiple indexes. The list represented what? Multiple indexes. But can you represent it as a tuple? No, you cannot represent it as a tuple. I'm writing a comma b, and here I use a separator as a backslash n. Backslash n, right? It is read the value at 0, it is read the value at -1, it is read the value of -4, -1, -2, -4, which is nothing but 70. It is read the value of 6, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is the value is 70. You read the value at 8. And what is the value at 8? 90. 90, yeah, right? So this is how you read the values by giving multiple indexes. Understood? Right? So within the square brackets, you can write either one index. Within the square brackets, you can write what? Multiple indexes. But when you are writing a multiple indexes, you have to represent those multiple indexes into one list. You have to put those multiple indexes within one list. You have to put those multiple indexes within one list, right? Let me tell you one more example. I'll tell you number of examples, but you should have a patience here. So ऐसा no सोचना कि सर बहुत सारे examples बता रहे बोल के. Okay, 7 comma 8 comma 9. Okay, 10 comma 11 comma what is that? 12. Now this is an array with how many rows? 4 rows. How many columns? 3 columns. If I write this, print A. Now it contains 4 rows and each row contains how many values? 3 values. Each row contains how many values? 3 values. Now print A dot, what is that? Shape. A dot is shape. What is the shape of this is? 4 rows and 3 columns. Is it clear? Right. Now tell me, if I'm writing a B equal to A of, I'm giving row indexes, right? 0, comma, I'm writing a 0, comma, what I write? 0, comma, minus 1, 0, comma, minus 1, comma, minus 3. 0, comma, minus 1, comma, minus 3. What will happen? Tell me, what will happen in this case? It will read which row? First row. It will read which row? Last row. Then it read second row. First row, last row and second row, and put in which array? B array. So B contain how many rows and columns? 3 rows and 3 columns. 3 rows and 3 columns. It is written with 3 rows and 3 columns. Now tell me, can I write C equal to A of 0? Now I take a list 0, comma 1. 0, comma 1. Again I am writing another list. Can I give multiple list here like this? 0, comma 1, comma 0, comma 1 like this. I've written like this, right? I've written like this. But is it given any error? Huh? No, it is not given any error. Now if I'm trying to say print C, C is an array. Yes. How many elements are there? 2 elements. 1 and what is that? 5. It's nothing but you are reading. This is which index? Row index. This is which index? Row index. This is column index. It means you are reading 0, 0. What is 0, 0 is 1. This is what again? Row index. And this is what again? Column index. You are reading 1 and 1. What is 1, 1 is? What is 1, 1 is? 5. What is 1, 1 is? 5. Row. Now you can write multiple indexes here. You can write multiple indexes here. Now this is row. The list contain row indexes. The list contain what? Column indexes. Actually, if you want to read a specific row and column, you are using row index and what? Column index. If I'm writing C of 0, 0, I'll get the element. How many elements I'll get? One element. But I want to read multiple elements. But here I've given one row index and one column index. But I want to define multiple row indexes so that I can read multiple values from what? Matrix. Multiple values from matrix are what? Array. Then what I am doing? I'm trying to write A of. Now first list represent which index? First list represent which index? Row index. First list represent which index? Row index. 0, comma. Which row? First row, comma. Which row? Second row. Which elements you want to read? This is nothing but which index? Column index. Now in first row, I want to read last value. In first row, I want to read last value. In second row, I want to read first value. Okay, in first row, I want to read last value. In second row, I want to read what? First value. It's nothing but you are reading 0, comma minus 1 and you are reading 1, comma 0. 0, comma minus 0, comma minus. Now this is which index? Row index. This is which index? Column index. Is nothing but you are reading 0 minus 1 and 1 and what? 0. 0 minus 1 is what? 0 minus 1 is what? 3. And 1 and 0 is what? Yes. Just see here. Print D. So which contain, oh, C here. No, C is a one dimensional. What is our array name? A, na? Sorry, array name is what? A. So run this, and what is the element it is read? 1. And what are the elements it is read? 3 and 4. What are the elements it is read? 3 and 4. Right? So just to try to give, this is row index and this is what? Column index. Row indexes and this is what? Column indexes. You can define multiple row indexes and multiple column indexes. Can you repeat the same row again or not? Yes. 0. 0, comma, which column? Which column? Minus 1. 0, comma, minus 1. 0, comma, minus 1 I'm giving. You can repeat it, no problem. I'm writing here 0, comma, 1. First you read 0, 0 and then read what? 1, 1 and then read what? 0, 1. 0, 1. Now 0, 1. Now you can see 1, 5 and what is that? 2. If it is three-dimensional array, what you represent? 3 indexes. First is what? Matrix index. Second is what? Row index. Third is what? Column index. Understood or not? So the number of indexes you define it based on the shape of the array. The number of indexes you define it based on the, yes. So but multiple indexes, say multiple indexes should be given within the list. And yeah, I'm just copying the examples, so that you can just practice this. So all these are different ways in which you can read the content of which one? Array. So always the number of indexes is based on the shape of the array. So index is based on the number of indexes are used. I'll write at the end. So number of indexes or subscripts. These are called indexes or what? Subscripts are used based on which one? Shape of the array. Based on the shape of the array. Number of indexes or subscripts are used based on shape of the array. Number of subscripts Number of subscripts are used based on the shape of the array. Understood? What is a yes or no? You can also read the elements from the array based on condition. Condition. For example, I am writing np dot array. I am writing 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 6 7 8 9 10. So I try to create an array by using existing list. I try to create an array using an existing list. Now this is an existing list by using which I created an array. Now here I am writing a b equal to a of. Okay, I am writing a of a greater than greater than 5. I said a of a greater than 5. What I've written? I've written one condition here. Means I want to read only the elements whose value is greater than what? 5. So this is advanced, right? So print B. Print B. B is an array contain only the elements which are greater than which one? 5. This is nothing but conditional. Conditional selection means I try to read the elements based on the condition. If I am writing a C equal to a mod 2, a mod 2 double equal to what? 0. A mod 2 double equal to 0. Means you are trying to read. What you are trying to read? Only which elements? Even numbers. You are reading only which numbers? Even numbers are read. Okay, if I am writing D equal to A of, so A mod 2 not equal to 0. A mod 2 not equal to 0. Now this will read which element? Odd numbers. Read even numbers and read what? Odd numbers. You can write one condition here. You can write one condition here, and based on the condition, it will try to read what? Elements. So conditional selection, right? Conditional selection. This is also possible. You can just write. So reading elements from array can be done based on which one? Condition. What is the syntax is? Array name. Syntax is array name and it followed by condition. Okay, array name it followed by condition. Condition you have to give. Condition means a Boolean expression. Here condition is nothing but a Boolean expression that should be written true. If it is a true, that element is read. If it is false, that element is not read. If it is a true, that element is read. If it is a false, that element is not read. This is an example.
ସେ ଯୋଉ ତମ ରୁମ୍ ଆଗେ ରହୁଛନ୍ତି ସେମାନେ କଣ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ତମେ କିଛି ଜାଣିନ? ଏବେ କଣ ଅଛନ୍ତି? ନାହାନ୍ତି?
Suppose I have an array, see here, np dot array. I have an array with some strings. I have an array with some strings. There are some strings in uppercase and there are some strings which are there in what? Lowercase. You have an uppercase strings and you have a lowercase strings. Now I want to read I want to read the strings which are there in which case? Uppercase. Tell me. B equal to A of bolo here.
Mhm.
I want to read the strings
Convert के
which are there in which case? Uppercase. Bolo.
कितने
A dot is upper. Can I write is upper or not?
हैं
Yes or no? Na? Is upper.
हम्म
What is upper is? It is given immediately error. Object has no attribute called which
हम्म
one? Is attribute. Is upper is not there is saying. Because A is which type? Array type.
हम्म
A is which type? Array type. Is upper I
ଆମେ
write
ଯୋଉ
like
କମ୍ପ୍ୟୁଟର କରି
this.
ରହିଥିଲେ ସେ ତଳେ ଯୋଉ
But
ସେଇଠି
even though it
ବାହାରିଥିଲା
is
ତ
given what? Error. But can I read elements which are there in uppercase like this? Is upper? No. Yes or no? Huh? So you required an expression that should return which value? True. It should return a boolean value that can be either true or false.
କୋଉଠି ସେଇଟା
I should return a boolean value that can be
ହୁଁ
either true or false.
ହଉ
I
ଦେଖିବା
cannot
ଆଉ
write
ମୁଁ
like
ତ
this, right?
କାଇଁ
A
ଏତେ
dot upper. But
ଏକୁଟିଆ ରହୁଛି
here
ପୁଣି
I'm writing what I'm writing
ଏତେ
A
ବାଟ ଯାଇ
greater
କାଇଁ ଯିବି
than 5. I'm writing A mod 2 double equal to 0. But here I'm writing A mod 2 not equal to which one? 0. It means you are reading an element and you are dividing. If it is not equal to 0,
କାହିଁକି
that element is what? Read. If it is not equal to 0, that element is what? Read. But if I am writing
ହୁଁ
A dot is upper, then immediately, because A is which type? Array type. Dot is which
ଆଁ
operator? Member access. Dot is which operator? Member access. So it is not having any attribute called which one? Is upper. It is not having any attribute called which one? Is upper. Then tell me, how can I read it? I want to read only uppercase strings. Huh? No, no, no. I want to read only the strings which are there in which case? Uppercase. I want to read elements which are there in which case? Uppercase.
ତମ ରୁମ୍ ମାନେ କଣ ମାନେ ହଉଛି ଯୋଉ କୋଉଠି କାଇଁ ମୁଁ ବୁଝିପାରୁନି
I cannot use dot here. I cannot use dot here. What you are
ତ
saying? ORD or you
କୋଉଠି
can directly use A is greater than A
ଷ୍ଟାଟିକ୍
is
କେତେଟା
greater than or equal to which one? Capital A. Can I write like this?
ଓହୋ
And A is greater than or equal to capital Z. Can I write like this? No. I use AND operation. Again it is given. The truth value of an array with more than one element is
ଯେ ଏଠି ତମେ କାଇଁ ଛାଡି
ambiguous.
ରହିଲେ
Use A dot any or use A
ତ
dot which one? All. Because you have a multiple elements A, B, okay, D and what is that? E. Now I write a multiple conditions. A is greater than or equal to, yes, less than. Two conditions are same. Less than or equal to Z. But even though it is given what? Error. It's saying that the truth value of an array with more than one element is ambiguous. Use A dot any or A dot which one? All. A dot any or A dot all. Means you have to use. See, what is the problem with this is you can give only one condition. See here, I said A is greater than or equal to capital A and A is less than or equal to what? Capital Z. Means you are reading each time one element and you are checking it. Because here you have two conditions, right? So that's the reason it is saying it as which one? Ambiguous.
ମୁଁ ଭାବିଲି
Complex
ତମକୁ
things you
ଯେତିକି
cannot
ପାଖରେ
do it
ରଖିକି ପାଖରେ ସେ ସାମ୍ନା ରୁମ୍ ଟା
by writing a condition within what?
ଆଁ
Square brackets. Square brackets is only for simple, but not for complex. If you want complex things, then you read each value and verify it. Is it that value is uppercase or what?
ତମର ଫାଷ୍ଟ
Lowercase. By
ତମର
using
କୁଆଡେ
which
କେମିତି
looping
ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ
statement? For
ବାଥରୁମ
loop.
ସାମ୍ନାଟା
So it
ଯୋଉଟା
is not
ରଖିଛନ୍ତି
for
ତା ସେଇ
complex
ସାମ୍ନାରେ
things,
ଏଇଟା
it is only for what? Simple. Not
ମାନେ
complex
ତମର
operations,
ବାଥରୁମ ଟା
but it is
ସାଇଡରେ ଆଉ
used for
ବାଥରୁମ
which
ତା ସେପଟେ କିଛି
operations?
ରୁମ ନାହିଁ?
Simple operations, but not complex.
ଓହୋ।
Here I remove this. Under operation I removed. Under operation is removed, and if I run this, now is it any error or no error? No error. But is it read all the elements greater than which one? Capital A. But is it all these values are greater than capital A or not? Yes. All this print B. So
ହୁଁ
all these values greater than capital A or not? Yes.
କଣ
Capital A, what is the capital A equivalent of ASCII value? 65. What is the small equivalent of ASCII value? 97. Is it 60? 97 is greater than 65 or not? Yes. For example, if I'm writing here 0, if I'm writing a 0, 1 and 2, is it 0 is greater than 65? No. Because what is 0 equivalent of ASCII value? 40, 47, 49, 45. Run this. Now is it written 0, 1, 2? No. Okay, right? Yes. Just try to understand this. Okay. Yes. But this is only for simple but not complex things. It is for simple but not for complex. Okay, right? So that is how you are trying to read it. So this is which selection? This is which selection here? Conditional. You can also read the elements from the array based on the you can also read elements from the array based on condition. You can also read the elements from the array based on the condition. क्या बोलते हैं यार? You understood ना? So how many ways can you read the content of the array? How many ways can you read the content of the array? Using index. Second one is using slicing. But we are learning using index. So using index, how many values you can read? One value. But can you define multiple indexes to read values? Multiple values can be read or not? Yes. So this index you always define it based on number of indexes are based on shape of the array. If it is 1D array, use how many indexes? One index. If it is 2D array, use how many indexes? Two indexes. If it is 3D array, use how many indexes? 3D, three indexes. So that is based on the shape and what is that? Dimensions. Understood? Right. So
କହ
tomorrow I'll tell you how to work with
କଣ
this
କହୁଥିଲୁ
slicing, for loop
ଗୋଟେ
and
ସ୍କିଲ୍ କଥା
iterator. Okay, using slicing, using for loop and using iterator, and you have other techniques also to read the content of which one? Array.
କୋଉ
We'll
ଭାଷାରେ
discuss that not today, but we'll discuss tomorrow. And all these notes I'll be uploading
ଗୋଟେ
in
ଭାଷା
Google
କାଟୁଛି
Classroom, and Google Classroom is already created. I think you joined. Now, if you have not joined, then ask admin. I'll give you the link. So today, from beginning onwards, all the notes I'll upload in Google Classroom. Okay, na? Google Classroom I'll upload. Okay, right. Thank you. We'll see tomorrow. Right.
ରିଙ୍କି ଦିଦି ହେରିକା ତମର କଣ କୁହନ୍ତି? ଅନୁପୁଣି ଅଛି ନା ନାଇଁ?